upon retirement. And the motion is being seconded by Mufulira Member of Parliament, Mr. Gordon Mwila.
All right, and still to come is the resumption of debate on the motion of supply that was moved by the Minister of Finance and National Planning, that the House resolves to the Committee of Supply on the estimates of revenue and expenditure for the year 1st January 2026 to 31st December 2026. And so members of Parliament are actually adding their voice to this particular motion.
Yes, indeed. So far, the House has considered one ministerial statement read by the Minister of Transport and Logistics on government's interventions to ensure the safety of motorcyclists on the public roads countrywide, and also one ordinary question understanding Order 80, which came from Mr. Chinga Miyotu, Kalabo Central Member of Parliament. He did ask the Minister of Health whether the government will provide an X-ray machine for Kalabo District Hospital. And we also had two private members' motion. The other one was moved by Mr. Alex Katakwe, so East Member of Parliament.
Okay. Order. When business was suspended, the House was considering the motion moved by the Honorable Member for Kanchibia that this House urges the government to reform the retirement benefit structure under the National Pension Scheme Authority to allow contributors have the option of accessing lump sum payments upon retirement, and the Honorable Member for Mufulira was seconding the motion. May the Honorable Member continue.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, before we went for a break, I was just explaining what the law as it exists under the NAPSA Act is, and I just explained about Section 18.
Order. There's an indication for a point of order. The Honorable Member for Luena, what is your point of order?
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise on a very, very serious point of order on the mover of the motion as well as the seconder. Madam Speaker, I've been listening very attentively to the debates, and I've constantly been referring back to the motion. The motion, Madam Speaker, is talking about introducing optional access to lump sum retirement benefits under NAPSA. And both the mover and the seconder are constantly talking about partial withdrawal, which is a completely different thing from what is on the floor of the House for debate. Madam Speaker, the two honorable colleagues, in order to debate a motion which is different from what they have brought to the House, and therefore the nation is waiting to hear whether we are saying yes or no to a motion, yet what is being debated is different from what is on the agenda. I seek your serious ruling, Madam Speaker. Yeah.
Order. Honorable members, what I can say is that the mover and the seconder, I hope you know the focus of your motion. The motion says that this House urges the government to reform the retirement benefit structure under the National Pension Scheme Authority to allow contributors have the option of accessing lump sum payments upon retirement. That is the motion which is on the floor of the House. So, honorable members, as we debate, and I'm sure the mover and the seconder are in agreement that this is the subject matter surrounding this motion on the floor. So can we focus our debate on the motion on the floor? The honorable member who is seconding the motion, can you please move or debate according to the motion on the floor of the House? You may continue with that guide.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the motion is very clear, and my points that I'm raising are in line with the motion. If only I can be allowed to finish. I was giving the background. Madam Speaker, as you said, the gist of this motion is to allow contributors to have the option of accessing lump sum payments upon retirement. Now, do we have this now? The answer is no. And that is why I was saying the current NAPSA Act sets conditions to access the pension under Section 18, which is if one has reached the retirement age and have contributed not less than 180 monthly contributions, then they qualify for a pension. However, in the same Act, there is an option for lump sum payment, which is provided under Section 21. But the condition is that someone must reach retirement age and must have contributed less than 180 monthly contributions. So you have two classes of contributors, one who qualifies and one who does not qualify. This motion is seeking to level the playing ground, that anyone who reaches the retirement age must have the option to access the lump sum payment upon retirement. That is what this motion is talking about. And unless the law is reformed to provide for this as things exist now, it is not permissible. And the majority of the retirees fall under the category of Section 18, where they do not have an option to access the lump sum payment. They just have to be placed on a life pension, which in most cases, Madam Speaker, as it stands now, the minimum is 1,200. You can imagine a worker who is contributing to NAPSA on a salary of 10,000 or 15,000 or less or more, but at the end of their working life, they are referred to NAPSA for a pension and get beginning 1,200, maximum goes about 11 or 10,000 as at now, which is far less than what most of them would even have been getting. Now, why this motion, Madam Speaker? This motion is aimed at financially empowering retirees to save them from destitution. Madam Speaker, someone would have spent their working life, 20 years or 25 years or 30 years working. If someone has been working for 30 years, from their income, from their monthly income, they failed to have decent accommodation. At the time of retirement, they are still renting a house. What would become of them when they fall into the retirement stage and their monthly income is reduced as a result of the current law as far as NAPSA is concerned? How will that person be able to survive? Some people are working now and contributing to NAPSA with ideas. They are pushing some businesses, but at a small scale. Why? Because they do not have enough money, they do not have enough capital to inject. They are hoping that at retirement, they are going to have access to some money which will boost their businesses. They are going to have access to enough money to send their children to complete their education at college or whatever level of education they are in. But their hope is in receiving this
lump sum amount. Their hope is in having access to the retirement package that will enable them sort out the financial challenges that may have been boggling them throughout their working life. As things stand now, it is not possible. Hence, this motion, which has come to this House, urging this government to reform the law so that retirees, upon retirement, will have access to a lump sum payment. Madam Speaker, this is not unique to Zambia. We have countries around us. In Kenya, for example, it is happening. Once this parliament approves this, let it go to the experts, the actuarial experts, who will then have to design the system that will incorporate what this motion is seeking. What we also have now, Madam, in this country, for example, those who are working in the public service, contributing to the public service pension fund, those have this which we are pushing under NAPSA. Upon retirement, those that are contributing under the PSPF actually access a bigger chunk upon retirement. Very minimal amount is paid to them after that. Those that are contributing to the local authority superannuation fund have the same conditions. It is only unique to NAPSA. Yes, the design of the three that I've mentioned, the LASIF, PSPF, and NAPSA are different, but what needs to catch up with PSPF and LASIF is the NAPSA law. And so, Madam Speaker, this is very progressive. It is non-controversial. We should not delve on what language is being used. The point is that this House must urge the government to bring up a law that will allow contributors to NAPSA to have the option of accessing lump sum payment upon retirement. With these words, Madam Speaker, I second the motion.
Thank you. Honorable members, we have a lot of honorable members that have indicated to debate, about 20. So please, let's avoid repeating. And if you've got nothing significant to talk about, you can even use 5 minutes or 4 minutes so that we can have as many honorable members as possible to debate this motion. The Honorable Member for Lunte.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I would like to appreciate my honorable colleague, Honorable Sande Chanda, the mover of this motion, as I do the seconder, my honorable brother, Honorable Mwila. Madam Speaker, this motion, in my view, is very clear. My view is that it seeks to introduce choices for those that are qualifying and are not provided for in the law as it stands as of now. That means those who reach retirement age but have made contributions to NAPSA for more than 180. Now, the questions that came to my mind when I was considering this motion are many, but I will speak about just a few things. Madam Speaker, these employees make contributions to NAPSA not on a voluntary basis, but on a mandatory basis. It's compulsory. If you work, you have to be deducted, and NAPSA gets this money. At the end of your working life, then you go to NAPSA and you are put on a monthly annuity. NAPSA begins to pay you on a monthly basis. Again, that is not your choice. If you contributed for many months, much more than 180, if you contributed more, NAPSA takes away your ability to choose to get a lump sum. Therefore, the mover is saying, give that person who contributed for more months to have that ability to go to NAPSA and say, I have now come to the end of my work life. The money that I contributed, give me part of it now, or give me all of it now. That's a choice, Madam Speaker. That is a choice that you are giving to a retired person who has served the nation wherever that is, whether it is in the public sector or private sector. We are saving right now. We are contributing to NAPSA. Time is coming when you go to NAPSA, NAPSA will tell you, go home, we'll be paying you on a monthly basis. Madam Speaker, you have no choice but to follow that. But look at what choices offer people, Madam Speaker. Choices shape life. If I'm given a choice, I'll be able to shape my life in a much more dignified manner. Because I decide on how to use my money. I decide in where to inject that money. I feel more dignified, Madam Speaker. It gives me a sense of control. This is my money. I should be in control. This is a worker's money who has retired. A worker needs to be in control, Madam Speaker. Why should you prevent a retired person, somebody that has served your country with dignity, to have a choice over their own money? Madam Speaker, I don't know whether anybody can refuse that choices actually foster personal growth. NAPSA won't make you grow. They will give you a monthly annuity, a monthly salary. The formula that they use is their own formula. You don't participate as a contributor. So the outcome is theirs. But at the end, if they tell you your money is 10,000 kwacha and you tell them, give me 9,000, you'll be paying me an annuity from 1,000, that is more dignifying. Because out of 10,000 kwacha, you can start a grocery store. You can't start a grocery store from 1,500 kwacha. It's not possible, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, these issues of choice will give you what I consider as fulfillment. Because...
Order. The Honorable Member for Mongu Central.
Thank you very much. Chair, Madam Speaker, I'm sitting here wondering about what the debater is talking about, who is on the floor right now. Because he was an executive member, he was a cabinet minister, and they had the opportunity to implement such kind of even 100% withdrawal. Now it's on the UPND government that has shown the appetite to take care of the workers by introducing partial withdrawal. And in this motion, we on your right, we are in support of it because it looks progressive. But we want just to make sure that it is looked at carefully by a professional to make sure that it can be sustainable. Is in order a person who failed, who was a minister, to implement this thing, to start debating it now, when he had an opportunity, when he was serving as a minister, to do it then. But he is now debating. For 10 years he had that opportunity. But he wants to debate a motion which us on your right we are already agreeable to, and we want to support. We just want to subject it to ensure that it can be sustainable. So it's sustainable. Madam Speaker, I think your serious ruling, whether it's in order. I'm quoting Standing Order 71. Thank you very much. Relevance.
Honorable members, today it's Wednesday, when honorable members of Parliament are supposed to freely bring motions to this House. And any member of Parliament is supposed to, if he wants to debate, he just has to indicate and he debates. So this is a day which is open to all members of Parliament, those that are interested to bring a motion or to debate. Whether they were ministers before or they are ministers now, but it's the duty of the backbenchers to bring motions to the House, and all honorable members have the right to debate. So the honorable member for Lunte is in order to debate the motion. The honorable member for Lunte, you may continue.
Madam Speaker, your grace is radiating in my heart. I can see how your power can be challenged. It is you, Madam.
Honorable member, just to continue. I've ruled already. Just continue with your debate.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I was just about to say you recognize me to debate. And it's shameful how your power can be challenged by a member
Honorable
like that.
Member
Madam
for
Speaker.
Lunte,
Madam
please
Speaker.
continue with your debate.
Madam Speaker, boosting self-confidence is the point I was trying to start talking about. That means if I take control of my decisions, as a worker now retired, I feel I have control over my contribution to the nation. And by the way, NAPSA is already paying out a lot of money. I don't know why anybody can be concerned about a lump sum going to a former worker, a retired worker, when NAPSA can pay over $600 million to a contractor, a foreign contractor who is doing a road. Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, NAPSA is already paying lump sums.
The Honorable Member for Lunte,
yes, Madam.
Can we just be focused on the motion? What is the matter in the motion? What are we discussing in the motion?
This is opening up for possibility for those workers who made contributions. This is offering choices. This is dignifying retirees. This, Madam Speaker, is increasing the lifespan of those who die because of, regretting their pay from 35,000 quarter to 5,000 a month. Madam Speaker, if somebody is given 100,000 as a partial lump sum at qualifying, or even more or less, they can be able to buy a yango, and that yango can help them much more than that monthly annuity can. This is why, Madam, I am supporting. When I was a minister, no motion of this nature was promoted by a backbencher. If any backbencher promoted a motion like this, I would support it, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, if a motion like this came after 6 months, assuming UPND refuses it, I will still support it. Because supporting a motion like this is saying, yes, you people, you have suffered making mandatory contributions. It is time for you to take control of your own money. It is time for those who were utilizing your money to think about you and pay you a lump sum as you wish. This could even be a full lump sum or a partial lump sum, but don't discriminate. Don't say we can only pay those who have contributed for less than 180 months. Pay everybody, Madam Speaker, because all workers are the same. All workers should be seen as the same. NAPSA should not behave like ZESCO. ZESCO is funded, Madam, by taxpayers. But when it comes to getting power, people are told 3 hours. The NAPSA should be different. Madam Speaker, I wish to actually appreciate once again my colleagues.
The Honorable Member for Kalabo Central.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we just want to add 1 or 2 words to the motion. First of all, let me thank the Honorable Member for Kanchivia, Honorable Sande Chanda, and also the mover, Honorable Mwira for Mufurira. The second is the motion, which is on the floor of the House, has 1 or 2 words which are very significant. They are introducing the word optional. They are introducing words lump sum and the word pension. Madam Speaker, human beings are unique. We are quite unique. And our uniqueness is untransferable. I am is not what someone is. My wish cannot work in another person's wish. This we have to bear in mind. Pension is the money which is given at the end of the period of offering service, implying that this is the last money. The last money which, when slipped off your hand, you become vulnerable. You register under social cash transfer. Maybe I haven't stated, I'm not against the motion, but we have to put in realism in this motion. That we want someone to get this money in its totality, with a wish, hoping he will do or she will do to sustain life. I've talked to 2 or 3 people who are getting this the monthly. Yesterday I had a conversation with someone who wants full. I was trying to encourage him to say, when you get your last monies, you have to be very careful. We have seen people getting full package, full monies, whatever amounts. At the end of the day, they become stressed. They become destitute in the community. But they had gotten all that money. Also, the other caution I would put here, or the other word I would add, when you go in the forest, in the park, and you find a hyena, just know, Honorable Madam Speaker, when you say hyena, just know that there's a lion nearby, or a leopard nearby. So, Honorable Minister for Labor, this motion has come. Why has it come today? The hyena is following the leopard because it knows that the leopard is going to catch. Then I will scare the leopard, then the leopard will leave the carcass. Honorable Madam Minister of Labor, to me, this motion has come because there's hope that the government is attending to the people. So, because the government is attending, so if we brought this idea, the government, so to me, it adds credibility to this government. If there was no hope, I don't think this motion, I mean, I've been here for 10 years, this motion was not there. The reason is simple. There was no care for the worker. Now, there is light at the end of the tunnel. That's why there is this courage, the strength of moving a motion to say, no, this government can go ahead. There was this 20% partial. It was not there. From 1964 until when the UPND Dawn government came in. So because of that, it gives, this is natural. This is where the strength and the inspiration has come from. Whilst there's this, we are still saying, let us not encourage what is going to make some people vulnerable so that they get back to the government again to care for them. Because they will become destitute. The money has been spent. Honorable Madam Speaker, you have worked for 40 years, 30 years. Now you want to build a house in your last money. Is that the way we plan? We don't plan like that. Do you know a house? That cost of a house, you want to put it on your last money. You are burying. You won't finish to build the house. The money will be done. What will happen? We don't plan like that. Dear workers, don't do that. As you start your work, plan for your house before you retire. When you retire, you go in your house, you spend that money. That's when you will realize that there's no much money, there's no little money. Because you already have a house. You cannot use pension to build a house. For me, this is the word I've added, cautioning that we shouldn't be rushing. We might put others into a state of destitute. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Chiengi.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to thank you for giving the people of Chiengi this opportunity. Madam Speaker, I think we are here as people's representatives. We are here to represent what people want to hear, not what those who belong to political parties want the political parties want to hear. Madam Speaker, this is a very emotive motion. It's not about what we feel. Where on earth will even us members here would want somebody to tell us how we spend our money at our age? Madam Speaker, most of these teachers, the civil servants, are crying. And they've been inboxing nearly every member. Please help us. How do you expect somebody to get that monthly money from NAPSA over 1,000 kwacha something? When they were working, they were getting at least minimum of 3,000. With the high cost of living and with the inflation that we have in our country, you go to pay someone 1,000 kwacha. For what? That's mockery. Madam Speaker, this is our money. I'm also a contributor, to NAPSA. I would want to use my money. What we are supposed to be talking about as members of Parliament, to show the nation that we mean business, is to talk about how we are going to bring in financial literacy in our education, or the time that a person, that waiting period when they wait to collect their money, they should go through some training, how they're supposed to use the money. This motion is about optional. It's an optional, and we're not talking about everyone. It's not mandatory. We are asking the government, can you revisit, help your people, your very people who gave you the mandate. People sent us here not to come and try to mock them. This is an emotive motion, Madam Speaker. We should not trivialize it. When you go out there, Madam Speaker, these are teachers or civil servants who are heavily indebted. And as we speak, they're getting nothing because NAPSA is busy enjoying their money. And they borrowed from the Shylocks and what and what. At the end of the day, they go with nothing. So when they retire, that's their hope. Let me start something. What is lacking here, Madam Speaker, is how we've been trained as Zambians. We've not been trained through education, entrepreneurship. We've not been trained how to manage our finances. That's why for those who I would say it's now too late for them, the waiting period, let the government get even a minimal percentage of their money to train them when they want to collect the money. We've been doing it with CDF loans. Before they get the CDF loans, we give them education, financial literacy. We can do the same. Others, they don't even know. Look, we have, in our country, we believe that agriculture is what you do when you've retired. When this agriculture was supposed to be taught to us when we're in school, so that from school when we're working, we are practicing that. When you look at how to manage the finances, Nearly every Zambian, Madam Speaker, cannot manage his or her finances properly. It's done so poorly. Everyone in here is owing whosoever or the banks, because we believe borrowing is a way of living. Madam Speaker, I want to urge my colleagues on the right-hand side. This is your litmus test. You have to look at it not with political lenses. Think of your sister or your brother who is a civil servant. You can question because you know where you've been getting the money. Madam Speaker, I want to tell them, Madam Speaker, and I want them, Madam Speaker, to know.
Honorable Member for Chiengi, you are debating through the chair, not through the honorable members. So just address the chair.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want them to know they can question, if they want, they can even shoot it down like they've done for other emotions. But Madam Speaker, the truth of the matter is that this is not a motion that we should joke with. We are talking about lives. People have committed suicide after retirement because they've carried over the dates that they have. And their hope were, if I get at least point of order, if I get at least something, then I can start even keeping chickens or whatever. Madam Speaker.
Order. There's an indication for a point of order. The Honorable Minister of Lands.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, sorry, Honorable, I'm not one who normally interrupts when one is debating. But the Honorable Member, is she in order, Madam Speaker, to insinuate that we are against this motion? In her debate, when the truth is the opposite. Is she in order to mislead the public? Thank you.
Order.
71, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Chiengi. It's like you are thinking on behalf of your other honorable members. There's only one member from the right who debated. We are yet to hear another member so that they will tell us, maybe through their debates, we'll hear whether they are against the motion. But so far, we don't know. So that is why it is important for you to bring out your own view. Answer the motion. Are you against yourself or you are for it? Please don't involve the other members of Parliament. That is your floor now. Are you against the motion or you are for it? You were out of order.
Speaker. Madam Speaker, I just want to say something. I am a Zambian and I'm passionate about the civil servants because I come from a family which is full of civil servants and I live with them and I live among my people and I understand exactly their pain. Madam Speaker, I don't come from an elite family, so I understand exactly what the move of the motion is talking about. All that the move of the motion is asking is that these contributors, including myself, we should have an optional. Not the way it is at the moment. And for this reason, Madam Speaker, I'm supporting this motion. And I also want to say that immediately we agree as the House, I'll be the first one to rush to NAPSA next year and get my money. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Mandi.
Madam Speaker, thank you so very much for allowing people of Mandi through me to debate on the motion that is currently on the floor of the House. Madam Speaker, I have no intentions of taking the whole 8 minutes as I debate this motion. I'll go straight to the point, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, when the new dawn came into power,
one of the things that they did was to introduce the 20% NAPSA withdrawal, the partial withdrawal. And I remember very well, because this was actually under my committee. The sentiments were that, you know, they are going to collapse, they will not be able to pay. And as you have seen, Madam Speaker, everyone that has applied to get the 20% NAPSA withdrawal, the government has managed to pay. This is how caring this government is to the civil servants. Madam Speaker, let me also declare that we are in support of this motion. And I'll explain why, Madam Speaker. First of all, as the chairperson of the Committee on National Economy, Trade and Labour Matters, I'm very much aware that NAPSA is currently doing reforms. And from what I can see from the honorable member there who's moved this motion, I can tell that he's also aware that there is already intention by the government to already make reforms, which includes this motion that we are currently debating on the floor of the House. Madam Speaker, that's why I'm taken aback. The technocrats are bringing reforms to this House to take care of the civil servants. Here on the right, Madam Speaker, we are in agreement because they are knocking on an open door. This is something that is already being done. There are reforms that are going to come to this floor of the House to make sure that we can take care of these concerns that are being raised by honorable members. Madam Speaker, even when I look at this list, I don't understand why we should even continue debating. I don't understand. Because everyone is in agreement. And as I'm supporting this, Madam Speaker, I'm saying the reforms are on the way. They are already being done. My committee was already even being briefed already on these reforms that are coming through NAPSA. The technocrats have already done the background work. And then before they bring the reforms as Parliament, there is a motion on the floor of the House to discuss what is already being done. So, Madam Speaker, how do you age someone who is already aged? Madam Speaker, how do you knock on a door that is already open?
Order, Honorable. That is the last point of order. We are behind time. The Honorable Member for Lubasenshi, what is your point of order?
Madam Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity once more given to the people of Lubasenshi to raise a point of order. Madam Speaker, and sorry to the my fellow honorable member there for Monday. Madam Speaker, standing order 71. Is it in order, Madam Speaker, the honorable member of Mandi to continue debating when, in actual sense, she has agreed to say no one was refused, and all of us we have supported this motion, that this motion be allowed to go, so that our civil servants, or those who are in formal and informal sectors, can start accessing this lump sum money. Is it in order to continue debating what the House has agreed already? I submit, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Member for Lubasenshi, I think there is an order that we follow when we are dealing with motions. We can't just say, Honorable Member, stop there, sit down, everybody has agreed. There is a question that is put forward. And the Honorable Member for Mandi has got a right to debate. He was given the floor. So she was not out of order. In fact, you are out of order, Honorable Member. The Honorable Member for Mandi, please.
Madam Speaker, let me also indicate that the Honorable Member that has just risen on a point of order is in my committee. And as you can see, he has not indicated to debate, because he knows that the reforms are on there. He's actually one of those that I earmarked on those reforms. That's why I've seen him not indicating to debate. He is very much aware
you may that continue with the debate,
that the reforms are coming. So, Madam Speaker, in conclusion, like I've indicated, Madam Speaker, you cannot knock on a door that is already open. The door is open, Madam Speaker. What we are waiting for, actually, for me, I think NAPSA is well ahead of this motion. The motion is behind, NAPSA is ahead. They are very behind. The motion is late, Madam Speaker, because from what I'm informed, there are reforms that are already coming to to this. So the motion, Madam Speaker, in as much as it is very, very good and is speaking to the civil servants and everything, it is running behind everything else that has already been done. So Honorable Sunday, we are supporting you 100%, just that the motion is behind schedule. We are supporting you, and I can assure you that the government is already doing this. And from that smile, Madam, I know him. From that smile, I can tell that he is aware. Madam Speaker, with that being said, I submit.
Thank you. Having heard from the PF, the UPNG, and the Independent, we can now make a decision. I will allow the Honorable Minister of Labour. I will allow the Honorable Minister of Labour and Social Security to respond.
Madam Speaker, there is so much to be shared, to be debated, but I am aware of the time limits. And I just wish to begin by thanking Honourable Member of Parliament for Kanchiviya constituency, Mr. Sande Chanda, for moving a private member's motion entitled Introduce Optional Access to Lump Sum Retirement Benefits and under NAPSA. I also want to thank other members of Parliament, including the Seconder for Mufulira, who have debated the matter. I also want to acknowledge the public debate that has been going on for a long time over this matter. Madam Speaker, as Minister of Labour and Social Security, I wish to assure all the stakeholders that the government is not oblivious to the concerns raised, and we remain committed to ensuring a sustainable, equitable, and secure pension framework for all citizens. And that is the reason for what the Honourable Member for Mwandi has said, that this government, the New Dawn administration, came in with an agenda to reform the pension system, or rather the social security system. And so the reform that is going on is to ensure that we look at the whole package beyond NAPSA alone, to look at all the flaws for the purpose of ensuring that our workers, our dear social partners, are well taken care of and well covered, not only from the pension point of view, but also from other perspectives of those benefits for social security. Madam Speaker, we have demonstrated as a government this commitment by the introduction of the partial withdrawal benefit, one benefit that was unimaginable before the New Dawn administration came into office. Not many believed in us, but it was delivered, and many who were naysayers were the first ones to go and take a stand on the queue to benefit without leaving anyone behind. A significant step aimed at providing members with immediate financial support while preserving the long-term integrity of the pension system. This measure was part of our broader efforts as government to adapt our pension schemes to the evolving needs of our population, especially on the labour market. As you may be aware, Madam Speaker, on the 30th of January 2025, Cabinet approved in principle a comprehensive package of pension reforms under the leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema. This approval marked a critical milestone demonstrating the government's resolve to modernize and to strengthen our pension systems. The approval included repeal and replacement of National Pension Scheme Act number 40 of 1996, aimed at enhancing benefits, compliance, and sustainability of the scheme. The reforms will also review the Public Service Pension Fund, PSPF, and the Local Authority Superannuation Fund, LASIF, and open them to new membership. Further, the reforms will introduce
a specified officer's pension benefit bill in order to establish a contributory statutory pension scheme for state officers. Madam Speaker, the reforms are being spearheaded by the steering and technical committees, comprising of various stakeholders. There are two committees, Madam Speaker, the technical and steering committees comprising of various stakeholders, which takes in the principle of tripartism, ensuring that government is present, employers are present, and the workers' representatives are present, so that we ensure no one is left behind in terms of providing input the way we do it through the tripartite consultative labor council. So the technical committees are a mirror of that. Madam Speaker, with specific reference to the lump sum, the proposed amendment that we are undertaking as approved by Cabinet has the following character, provides for the following. One, more flexibility with the 20% early withdrawal into a lump sum. Currently, you can get 20% of your pension savings before retirement. The new provision will allow members to access the 20% lump sum at retirement as well. Further, the current considerations include increasing the partial withdrawal to a percentage higher than 20%. Madam Speaker, this means that the members will have the option to access partial withdrawal as a lump sum at the time of retirement, other than just the time they are working. Two, Madam Speaker, voluntary extra contributions. This government is being innovative through the technical committee. Voluntary extra contributions, NAPSA will introduce an additional sub-scheme which will be voluntary in nature. Current contributing members and new members will be allotted or allowed to put an extra money that they have in their bank, in their pocket, in their business, into NAPSA if they want to. This option will help them get even more money when they retire, which they can take as an additional lump sum. Madam Speaker, extra pension for civil servants. Civil servants like teachers, nurses, employed after 2000 are currently only covered by NAPSA. Madam Speaker, the proposed reforms will allow the civil servants to also contribute to PSPF or LASIF, where they will be entitled to obtain lump sum benefits at 40%. NAPSA will be the first pot of their pension, while PSPF or LASIF will be the second pot. This in addition to the retirement lump sum that is to be introduced under NAPSA. For the private sector, there are over 230 occupational pension schemes under the supervision of the Pensions and Insurance Authority, PIA, that also provide for a lump sum. Private sector employers are encouraged to establish private occupational pension schemes or join existing ones. Madam Speaker, while the idea of lump sum has garnered a lot of interest, I want to clarify that the government focus is on implementing reforms that will balance not only the immediate but also the future financial security of the members, as well as the long-term sustainability of the scheme. We do not want to leave retirees vulnerable without adequate annuity structures. Members have different requirements and priorities throughout their life cycle. Monthly pensions become more important as people age, as they provide a predictable and regular source of income after retirement, helping retirees meet their daily needs, especially the majority without savings or family support. Number 6, the legal provisions to support the reforms. These reforms
are now in their final stages, Madam Speaker, final stages of refinement. We are about to embark on the second round of provincial consultations, engaging with stakeholders, trade unions, and employers to ensure that our reforms are inclusive, transparent, and effective. Madam Speaker, I wish to inform this August House that after the provincial consultations, the proposed reforms will be presented to Tripartite Consultative Labour Council, TCLC, which is the legitimate consultative body as espoused in the Industrial Relations and Labour or Industrial and Labour Relations Act, CAP 269, after which recommendations will be submitted to Cabinet. Madam Speaker, we have aligned our proposals with the International Labour Organization Convention 102, which allows for lump sums with caution that they must be regulated to safeguard minimum periodic monthly payments, because lump sums could complement and not should complement and not compromise adequacy and monthly pensions. Madam Speaker, the Ministry, working in collaboration with the International Labour Organization and the Embassy of Ireland today, on the 12th of November 2025, launched the gap analysis report that seeks to take Zambia to ratify that Convention 102 that will ensure that we have a total coverage moving progressively, as we have already met the 4 and we are moving on. This convention will allow us to ratify even when we have the first 4, but that indicates that Zambia, under the New Dawn administration, is safe for all the workers and retirees, because we are seeking a comprehensive social security system. Madam Speaker, the door is open for this proposition that has come through the motion, because we are already way ahead of the motion, and the door is open, and this government is ready to take on the propositions that have come through this motion. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. The Honourable Member for Kanchivia, wind-up debate.
Madam Speaker, allow me to pay glowing tribute to my dear sister, the Minister for Labour. Allow me to take this opportunity to thank government for the magnanimity with which they have responded to this particular motion. Allow me to thank the right in its entirety for supporting this motion. Allow me to thank the left in its entirety for supporting this motion. Allow me, Madam Speaker, to emphasize that the reason for this particular mission was not partisan, it was not political. It is because I'm a believer, and let me thank the seconder, my very good brother from Mufulira, Honorable Mwila, but that we are believers in collective responsibility. That government is resting on 3 tiers, and this is the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. When we come into this house and when we're dealing with matters such as this one, we take off what is political and we look at what is good for our people. Let me also salute the interventions underway by the ministry, and that we encourage that the interventions are heightened and fastened so that we can get more and more benefits accruing to our people. Madam Speaker, I do not wish to prolong my winding up of this debate. That was just to say thank you to the executive, thank you to this honorable house for unanimously supporting this motion. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. I put the question. The question is that this House urges the government to reform the retirement benefit structure under the National Pension Scheme Authority to allow contributors have the option of assessing lump sum payments upon retirement. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary say no. The ayes have it, and the question is resolved in the affirmative. The clerk will now read the order of the day.
Supply motion of 4th November, resumption of debate.
Order. When the House adjourned yesterday, Tuesday, 11th November 2025, the House was considering the motion moved by the Honorable Minister of Finance and National Planning that the House do now resolve into Committee of Supply on the estimates of revenue and expenditure for the year 1st January 2026 to 31st December 2026, presented to the National Assembly in September 2025. Any further debate? Before I pick a member, just be reminded that tomorrow will be the last day for the backbenchers to debate the motion. Thank you. Any further debate? The Honorable Member for Chasefu.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity to debate the budget for 2026. Madam Speaker, today I will not talk much, but the style of my debate, I want to simplify things that were being talking about since I came to this parliament. Certain terminologies that the people of Chasefu must understand as we look at these estimates every time. Madam Speaker, first I want to thank the Minister of Finance and the New Dawn administration for always being prudent. And in my own view and in my own opinion, I want to describe the budgeting system that they have adopted from 2022 as being pro-poor. Why do I say they are being pro-poor budgeting? They are looking at the people of Zambia equitably or equally without segregation. The people of Chasefu, Madam Speaker, for your own information, if you go to Chasefu and see with your eyes physically, you would think that you are not part of this country. But since the coming in of the New Dawn, we have seen increase in the CDF that is directly given to them. And in this budget it is proposed that they are going to increase CDF to 40 million. This is unprecedented, uncomparable. And this is the thing that we should thank as Zambians. Is being given to all parts of this country without segregation. Whether you are independent like myself, whether you are opposition like my brothers here, or you are ruling, you are being equal given equal money. Madam Speaker, this is how a country should be run. Now, there are certain terminologies when I hear people debate, they talk about issues of saying, yes, the previous government did something. And I want to say, yes, the previous government did something. But I want to qualify it and make it simple for the people of Zambia. There are certain terminologies, Madam Speaker, when I sit here, when the executive is talking about debt restructuring. The people of Chasefu and the ordinary person in the compounds should know. What does it mean? Debt restructuring, we should take time as Zambians to explain. I was yesterday taken aback when one of us was debating to say, no, there's nothing that this government has done. It has prompted me to debate today. Madam Speaker, those who were there, they say they built airports, they built roads, they built these flower bridges here in Lusaka. I see them, I use them because I live here. They did nothing in Chasefu. Now, what happened? If they built, the people of Zambia should know that they built this infrastructure. Very good for a country. No one should fault them. But did they pay cash? They borrowed extensively. They borrowed without pay. And when this other government came in now, the New Dawn, they are paying debt. They are paying that debt, Madam Speaker. Now, Madam Speaker, I need protection. I want to make it simple. Debt restructuring means, Madam Speaker, mwakongola ndalama. You mwakongola ndalama. Then I'm coming. I want to use Inyanja so that the people understand. When we say debt restructuring, this person akongola ndalama kuti aende apange ichi chintu apange airport Roma Road, akongora ndarama, akongora zambiri, zamene akanga kulipira. They borrow a lot to build airports good for the country, but they have not paid.
The Honorable Member for Chasefu, I think I had ruled that we are behind time. Tomorrow is our last day. We've only got less than 21 minutes before we adjourn. We are behind time. The Honorable Member for Chasefu, you may continue.
Madam Speaker, we need to tell the Zambians. When you hear about debt restructuring, those who borrowed...
Did you finish the translation?
Yes, I'm explaining now. Those who borrowed to do these things never paid. Now, these other people, they are told that when this government was saying there was no money, it is because those other people who lent us money, who gave us money, they were demanding for their money, failure to which they will grab anything here. Now, what this government has done, they say, no, we are a new government. Allow us to be paying you through. These did not pay you, but they built. So now, who built those things if these are the people who are paying? Wamena lipira oro ujamena na kongora no manga hivi no lipira, or the one who is now paying.
Meaning what, Honorable Member?
Who has built the property? The one who is paying now for the things that the money you borrowed to do something. You will repay the owner. So I wanted the Zambian people to understand, when you have this jargon of debt restructuring, what does it mean? We are confusing the people. People borrowed recklessly. And because of that, Madam Speaker, because of my time, Chasefu had nothing. The Chipata Rundazi Road was abandoned, regraded from bituminous to all-weather gravel, which they even didn't do. But here, they borrowed, they were doing things in Lusaka. I always say that Lusaka is not Zambia. Chasefu is part of Zambia. This rural part, where these people are giving us 40 million, we should do thank. Because now we are all belonging to the one country. So when I hear people that these have not done nothing, yes, they need to deal with electricity. Yes, they need to deal with Chipata Rundazi Road. It is a hammering, it is touching Chipangali, Lundazi, Lumezi, Chasefu and Chama. It has never seen bituminous. We want them to do it so that we can fully benefit. So I want to say, debt restructuring, let us explain. Vajana Kongola Vaja. To build what they build. They never built those things. It is the people. Those who borrowed never did anything. The people who are repaying are the ones who have done all these things. That's a reality. That's a reality, Madam Speaker. We should be able to tell the Zambians the truth. It's unfair to attack. These are human, but they've done better in 4 years than what these people did. I have 40 million now to decide, coming from a government. That is responsible. So to 40 people, that President Hakainde Hichilema is not doing anything. We built this and that. It's not fair. If we go to church, we should say the truth. Those who have borrowed didn't do anything. Those who are paying back are the ones who are responsible and prudent. I thought I should debate this manner so that the Zambian people know. We should appreciate what they did, but majority of the things they borrowed, there is no one who is burning money now. So part of the money they were burning in bars. They were burning money. You borrow money, you burn some of it. Then you neglect yourself. The people of Chasefu cannot abandon a government that gives them 40 million. Madam Speaker, I need more time so that we talk with the real things that affect the people. I thank you.
Your time is up. The Honorable Member for Chikankata.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving the people of Chikankata an opportunity to add a voice on this very important report from the Expanded Budget and Planning Committee. Madam Speaker, allow me to congratulate the new Dawn government for working so hard that the 2026 budget, 82% of it will be locally funded. It means that the government is working, and this is what we call methodical government. Madam Speaker, before I go into details in my debate also, allow me to thank the New Dawn government. 61 years after independence, the people of Chikankata who have a bituminous standard road. Right now, as we are talking, the contractor is on site. Why? Because of a hard-working team under the leadership of Mr. Hagainde Hijilema. However, Madam Speaker, I'll focus my debate on page.
The Honorable Member for Mwandi. You may continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'll focus my debate on page 5 of the report, Anti-Corruption Commission. The allocation to the Anti-Corruption Commission has increased from 179.9 million to 199.96 million in 2026. However, the funding remains inadequate to meet staffing needs, with only 365 officers against the establishment of 407. Madam Speaker, Anti-Corruption Commission is a very strategic institution in this country, considering that the New Dawn government and corruption, the fight against anti-corruption is one of the top agenda items. However, to have a challenge of human resource under this institution is not good. Madam Speaker, we need more money for anti-corruption so that we can have more human resource. We need officers to go out in the field to educate our people on the dangers of corruption. In this country, when we talk of corruption, the first person you think is a politician. But when we talk of corruption, corruption is a mind game. It starts from our homes. At the moment in our community, even greeting someone, the next thing they'll tell you, Turiemo. That's corruption.
Meaning what, Honorable Member Turiemo?
Let's eat, we eat with you. So you need to give them something. So it's very important that we have more officers being employed so that they are able to go out there and sensitize the communities on the danger of corruption. As we are discussing this issue right now, Madam Speaker, as members of Parliament, we are here working for this government. But we have people out there who are giving people 1 kg of salt, manipulating their minds that if I give you salt, come next year, I want to be your councillor. I want to be your member of Parliament. I want to be your president. What does it mean? That's corruption. But to focus on the elite corruption of looking at members of Parliament. As a member of Parliament, a minister in this country, you don't need to build a house. The moment you build a house, you are called a thief. But let's change the mindset by making sure that even the community, they understand the dangers of corruption. Because corruption encourages poverty in a country. So it's very important that we increase the money under the Anti-Corruption Commission so that they'll have more people. And the other issue that came out as we are interrogating with the anti-corruption was that most of the officers who are trained under this institution, they will work made for 2 years. Because of the salaries, they are too low, they go to other institutions like Zambia Revenue Authority. So it's very important as a government that we change the conditions of the officers under this institution so that there's sustainability in the workers of this institution. Madam Speaker, allow me also to discuss on the issue of local government remain inadequate to manage resources under CDF. Madam Speaker, we've been discussing the issue of local government in relation to CDF that we've had a challenge. But one of the issues that we should look as a people is that when you go into these local governments, most of the times, the council secretaries, the director engineers, the planners, they are out for workshops. Every week, these officers are in Livingstone, they are in Kawe for workshops. What time do they implement whatever they are taught at these workshops? This has really affected the implementation of projects under the CDF. I would urge the local government ministry to change their strategy. You can come up with a workshop in a year, educate your officers, and give them an opportunity to go and implement whatever you teach them. Unlike the whole year, these people are in workshops. And when you look at the allocation for CDF under administrative costs, all this money is used by officers because they are in Livingstone. You call your council secretary or your town clerk to find out the progress on the CDF projects. He will tell you, Honorable, I'm not in the office, I'm attending a workshop. So when are they going to implement? So the ministry should look at it, because we can't spend more time in workshops unlike implementing the project. We all know that CDF is the flagship of the New Dawn government. So we need our officers to be on the ground so that they are able to monitor the projects that are being funded by government. Without monitoring, we have contractors who are not on site. They are given the resources, they will leave the works. Even there's no supervision, Madam Speaker. Why? Because the engineer is not on the ground to check on the works. But the time they realize that the job which has been done is not right, the money has already been spent, and it's very difficult to reverse. So it's very important that the ministry give the workers the opportunity to be in the offices and go out in the field to monitor the activities of the CDF. Madam Speaker, allow me also to look at the issue of the FISIP. In the report, there's an issue of restructuring of the FISIP. Madam Speaker, I'll be very honest with you. The FISIP is not a problem. The problem is the way of our officers, the way they are working. You would find that a cooperative has 20 people and they only be given 5 parts. When they are given 5 parts, they will be forced to share the parts among themselves. Meaning that whatever government planned that if someone is receiving fees for 3 years, after 3 years they're supposed to graduate. But how do you graduate if you are able to share 6 parts among 20 of you? It means that we are digging a hole to bury a hole. So it's very important that when you have a cooperative of 20 people, there must be a system that the 20 members of that cooperative are given an equal share so that they are able to use those packs within themselves, so that after 3 years, you are able to graduate and give another set of cooperatives. But what is happening right now, it's very difficult. Is up. It's very difficult. That's why we find that it's not even changing the lives of people. It's like now we are encouraging poverty using FISIP. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Narikwanda.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much for the time to this debate on the budget speech. Madam Speaker, my debate will revolve on the debt restructuring, which my honourable member for Chasefo was talking about. Madam, this term refers to a situation where the debtor goes to the creditor to negotiate the conditions and terms on which a debt was incurred. In this case, the country had reached a stage where we were not able to pay our loans which we had gotten from the international market. Between 2011 and 2020, the PF government had overborrowed, such that we were not even able to pay even the interest. We defaulted on the international market. Now, if you fail to pay interest, what about the principal? So the country was not even able to do that. As a result, the following happened. The growth rate went under, it was negative. Inflation was growing day in, day out. The quarter was being devalued. What else? The country was not able to employ teachers. The country was not even able to employ medical staff. The country was not even able to buy medical equipment in the hospitals. So the country had reached a stage where we don't know where we're going. I wonder how our members from the outside, every say we borrow and we don't know where we are taking the money. For the people of Central Province and the Western, especially Western Province, in 2013, the PF government had tendered the Kafue Hook Bridge. For 8 years, they could not work on that bridge. Until when the new government came in, they worked on the bridge, and currently we are very happy. After restructuring, what happened? Madam, currently, inflation is going down. Everyone here in the house knows that the inflation is going down every day. The quarter is appreciating. Because of that, because of restructuring, the terms and the conditions of these loans were relaxed. And we can see enough cash flow in which the CDF is being increased. From that, we have seen the employment of teachers. Our schools have got enough teachers now. Go to these schools. Go to Narikwanda now. Every school has got desks. In 2020 or 2021, when we took over government, our children were sitting on the floor. How would you feel, Madam Speaker, when you go into a class and you find your children are sitting on the floor? The teacher has got no table where he can sit, he or she can sit. Because of restructuring, the government has got enough resources to even employ defense forces employees. From this, we can say the other group which is on the other side, if this they say, no, the PND government is overborrowing and we don't know where they are investing this money. I think they should look backwards and see whether what they are talking about is a reality. During that time, they had promised the people of Western Province to construct a university in Western Province. Maybe my eyes or my ears don't tell me this. When I go to Western Province, if not even the site is there, but nothing has happened. Nothing has happened. With the new government, with the restructuring, we can see hope in the future. Our children currently, Madam Speaker, you go everywhere. What we do as parents in the government schools, we just buy uniforms and the books. They are able to feed. Where is the money coming from? Because they were saying they were not able to. Because of restructuring, you look at the budget currently. There is a portion where we are able to pay our local debtors, local creditors. We are able to even service the external debt which our colleagues failed to do. It means the people who are leading this country, they know what they are doing. Madam, I don't want to talk much. I think that's enough. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Bwana Mkubwa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, allow me to focus on Head 03, which is a National Assembly.
Order, Honorable Member. I think for Head 03, we can't just stop like that. We arrange that those who want to debate Head 03 will do it tomorrow so that we have some order. So tomorrow you shall be given the opportunity.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Then I'll debate tomorrow.
Thank you. The Honorable Member from Pongwe.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Let me first start with commending the Republican President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, for showing leadership when the country is going through a lot of challenges. Madam Speaker, the country is going through a lot of challenges, but the President and the Cabinet is managing to see to it that things are put in order. Madam Speaker, the economy is on the right track with the projected 5% increment in the next year, 2026. Madam Speaker, the President is up to the task to see that the economy of Zambia is put where it's supposed to be. With the issue of the budget being funded through domestic revenue, we have seen that going forward, the budget will be supported or will be implemented 100% without relying on the foreign support. Madam Speaker, we saw in 2022.
The honorable member who is on the floor, we are almost done, is in fact time up. When you are given the opportunity to continue with your debate tomorrow, please be factual so that you do not mislead the public. You do that tomorrow.
Okay, thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
As the time is 18:25 hours, I interrupt the proceedings and debate stands adjourned. Day for resumption of debate. The Honorable Minister. Okay.
Tomorrow, Madam Speaker.
Her Honor the Vice President adjournment.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the House now adjourns.
As no notice of an item for debate on the motion of adjournment of the House has been received, order, honorable members. As no notice of an item for debate on the motion of adjournment of the House has been received, I put the question. The question is that the House now adjourns. Any debate? Any objection? The question is agreed to. The House is now adjourned.
Good evening, and that's it. That's the business that has been considered on the floor of the House today, Wednesday, 12 November 2025. Would like to thank you for your viewership, and it's that moment where we get to have a recap of what has been considered on the floor of the House. Madam Speaker did make some announcements. She did recognize the presence in the Speaker's gallery of staff from the National Assembly of Kenya. Also, on behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, Madam Speaker received the guests and warmly welcome them.
Madam Speaker also recognized the presence in the public gallery of our pupils and teachers from East Abuse School Limited in Lusaka District. And Madam Speaker, on behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, warmly welcomed the visitors to the National Assembly of Zambia.
Madam Speaker did permit the Minister of Transport and Logistics, Honorable Tali, to deliver a ministerial statement on the government's interventions to ensure the safety of motorcyclists on the public roads countrywide. And so the minister did say that government has observed with deep concern the increasing number of road traffic crashes involving motorcycles and tricycles across the country, and the accidents have resulted in the growing number of fatalities and serious injuries, particularly among young people who depend on motorcycles and tricycles for their livelihoods.
The minister further said motorcycles have become an important mode of transport, especially in peri-urban and rural areas where conventional transport services are limited. However, the minister added that their rapid growth, if not accompanied by proper regulation and safety measures, poses serious risks to the riders, passengers and other road users.
The minister went on to say that the cause of motorcycle crashes as established by RATSA include unlicensed and untrained riders, overloading and carrying multiple passengers, failure to wear helmets and protective gear, and general non-compliance with traffic rules and regulations.
And the minister did say that in response to the above challenges, his ministry, working with the Road Transport and Safety Agency, RATSA, the Zambia Police Service and the local authorities has continued to implement and scale up the following interventions.
That's enforcement and licensing and safety, education and sensitization. He did say that our government continues to implement the measures. The safety of motorcyclists ultimately depends on the responsible conduct of riders, passengers and motorists alike, and so all road users must exercise caution and consideration, particularly towards vulnerable groups such as cyclists. So the minister did appeal to the general public to ensure that every rider is licensed and trained, and that riders and passengers to always wear helmets and reflective jackets, and carrying multiple passengers or overloading are avoided, and riders to refrain from reckless riding and speeding. So parents and guardians should also discourage underage riding of motorcycles on public roads. Just as brief of the ministerial statement that was delivered by the Minister of Transport and Logistics.
Yes, indeed. So after that ministerial statement, we did see the House consider 3 agent matter without notice, and that one came earlier, and also had question for answer understanding order 80. Probably you may give us the details of this.
Absolutely. So question 69 under Standing Order 80 did come from Mr. Mute of Kalabo Central. He did ask the Minister of Health when the government to provide an X-ray machine for Kalabo District Hospital, and in response the Minister of Health did say that an X-ray machine has been procured and is currently undergoing clearance at the Kazungula border, and that the machine will be installed in December this year once clearance is done. So that's question 69 under Standing Order number 80 that was considered. That's the only question that was considered today.
Yes, indeed. After consideration of that question, understanding order 80, being a Wednesday today, we did have 2 private members' motion. The first one did come from Mr. Alex Katakwe, Sorez Eastern Member of Parliament. He did move a motion titled Introduce a Legal and Policy Framework to Regulate the Provision of In Vitro Fertilization, IVF and fertility services, that this House urges the government to introduce a legal and policy framework to regulate the provision of in vitro fertilization, IVF, and fertility services. And this motion was seconded by Lunda's Member of Parliament, Ms. Brenda Nyarenda. The motion was adopted.
We also did have Mr. Chanda of Kanchiria constituency move a motion that was seconded by Mufwila Member of Parliament, Mr. Gordon Mwila, titled Introduce Optional Access to Lump Sum Retirement Benefits under NAPSA, that the House urges the government to reform the retirement benefit structure under the national scheme, the National Pension Scheme Authority, to allow contributors have the option of accessing lump sum payments upon retirement. And this motion has also been duly adopted.
Yes, indeed. Thereafter, there was a resumption on the debate of the motion of supply. This is the motion of 4th November 2025, which was moved by Honorable Finance Minister, the Minister of Finance and National Planning, Dr. Stombe Musokotwan, that the House now resolves into Committee of Supply on the estimates of revenue and expenditure for the year 1st January 2026 to 31st December 2026, presented to the National Assembly in September 2025. And at the time business was being interrupted, Mpongwe Member of Parliament, Mr. Gregory Ngowani, was about to add his voice to this motion. So we do expect him to continue debating this motion tomorrow.
All right, and that's it. That's all the time that we have for you. We're back tomorrow at 14:30 with more proceedings. From all of us, bye-bye. Do take care.
Transform your office, retail, or branch space with DSTV for Business. Add top entertainment at great value with one of our DSTV work packages, the Ultra or Essential, and create a welcoming and informative setting with cutting-edge news, business, sports, lifestyle, music channels, and much more. Contact us today and let our experts guide you in selecting the perfect package. When it comes to entertainment, DSTV for Business is your ultimate partner.
Top picks on DSTV. It's pregnancy complications, hidden secrets, and even more relationship struggles. Watch your back. A young woman uncovers the terrifying truth behind her husband's wealth and the black magic he employs to attain it.
Everything we've created here is for our legacy.
And the bumbling Mr. Bean is back with more crazy capers and constant chaos.
I am enjoying it.
Stay connected to the unmissable on your home of entertainment, DSTV.
My eParliament mobile application. My eParliament is a mobile application developed by